Right.
especially since it's an aging market and we're kind of getting shorted on a lot of drivers out there. I mean, there's not a lot of new blood coming into the industry at all,
Right.
and
And
where's it
that
going to go
affects
from there?
us. Right.
Right,
That affects us because
right, because
like
all the workload goes on the one guy,
certain
in the
drivers, yeah.
area.
It goes
Yep.
back to that helping other drivers deal.
Right,
Like I know I'm a
right,
driver that would help anybody. If
right.
you were to call me
Most
and say,
days.
"Hey, look at I broke down today." I'd be right over
Right,
to your route.
right.
But like if somebody won't give me the same courtesy, like I break down, my truck
hmm
goes down for the whole
You
day. What do
you
they
got
do?
to rub each other's backs.
Right. They send you home. Like if your truck goes. Hello, and welcome to this brand new podcast, Talk Dirty to Me. In today's episode, me and Alex will dive into our lives, from our early days to what we do today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more like this. A little click of a button goes a long way. So, Alex, what did you do before you became a trash man?
So before I got in the trash game, I actually started off, after high school, getting into retail. Bounced from job to job, working Walmart to Lowe's, a couple of different places. Where eventually I ended up being a store manager for like a rent to own store, kind of like a rent a center errands type deal. And then when I was working there for a few years, I got a little unhealthy. I'm a big guy. I've been a big guy since high school, but I got a little overweight. Had a heart attack when I was working there. I was in the hospital for a day. Got released. It was only a minor heart attack, thankfully, but kind of needed to make a life change. And my local village was actually hiring for a trash thrower. So what I did is I applied down there for that. Uh, was practically right behind my house, so I just walked to work. That was the first time I ever had that experience before. I've always, driven myself to work. Um, then I started doing the trash throwing game, got into it, and got my CDL through the village, and then never looked back.
Then you started picking up trash for the city. How was that? How was that experience? Was that like a automated deal or
Oh no, no,
hands-on deal?
I was the guy in the back of the truck hanging on for dear life, and
Uh,
throwing the trash in the back of the truck, and keep packing it, rolling it over, getting dirty, real dirty. Do that for a few years. Ended up having to get a second job because they did tell me that they were only hiring part time for the position, which is the first thing I've ever heard of for a village worker. But I guess at the time that's all they were hiring for. They kept me there for 3 years part time. Then I went part time towing, which my towing job kind of took more hours than my part time job did. But I ended up working anywhere from 80 to 90 hours per week, and kind of went through a little struggle with that, and had to slow down. No, had no time off for family or anything like that at all. So I switched gears. A local trash company nearby me was hiring. Went and applied down there, did a test drive same day, and got hired on the spot. So I never looked
right.
back.
So now your trash experience is automated or it's
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
still
yeah. So,
manual?
oh yeah, no, nope. I got out of the rear load game. I got what they call an ASL truck, which is an automatic side load, which you just roll up to the stop. Little mechanical claw comes out, grabs the toter, and then tips the damn thing for you. You don't have to do any get it out of the truck or anything. So of course now, before when I was a rear load thrower and driver, I was getting in and out of the truck, throwing the trash manually. Now I'm kind of getting back into the scary range of being a little too big again. Just because honestly during doing ASL, you don't really get out of the truck for much of anything, so you get
Right.
kind of lazy.
Right. Now, your job safety, like, so you're en route, you're picking up your stops.
Yep.
How safe is it with other drivers out there? Or is it safe? Do you feel safe all the time? Like, if you gotta
Oh,
cross the road for whatever reason or anything like
uh,
that?
you always got to make sure you are 100% sure that there's no one trying to pass by you at all. So what I normally do is, throw my four ways on, get over to the shoulder as much as I can, get out. I look both ways before even crossing at all because it is totally unsafe out there. I mean, there's cars that just, they see a trash truck and they're like, I gotta get past it. I gotta get past it, man. And they just
Right.
fly right past
Fly
you.
right by, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they don't give no hells about nobody else, and they just go right on past you. So it's very unsafe. So what you gotta do is you gotta make sure you just gotta keep looking both directions. Like the old school saying, look twice before crossing the road. Well, that definitely
Right.
applies for us trash men.
Right. A lot of close calls out there, like cars getting
Uh,
really close to your truck.
oh yeah, all the time. That's why if I'm pulling up to a stop and I see people behind me, I don't even pull back onto the road until I see all the cars clear by me because like I said, they see the trash truck on the side of the road picking up trash, and for some reason in their brain they're like, "There's somebody in my way. I I'm I gotta pass them. I gotta pass them," and then they're all right past you. And as soon as you try
Right.
to get back on the road, you're gonna hit them, collide, big explosion.
So it's
You don't
safe to
want that.
say, right. So it's safe to say that if they're in a hurry to get to that Starbucks and grab that coffee rather
yeah,
than your
yeah.
life.
Oh yeah. Starbucks is all that matters. Coffee is
Right.
God, guys.
Right. I get, yeah. What about, so I was reading an article, I think last week, and I seen that a trash man actually, passed away by being hit by a 18-wheeler. Do you feel safe when they pass you? Like,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely not.
they're in the commercial business too, just as we are.
Yeah, no.
And they should understand, you
Yeah,
know, do you feel
yeah.
safe?
Absolutely not. I mean, so they might be commercial drivers like we're commercial drivers, but they still they have their time frame they got to get stuff done by, and they try to pass by you as fast as possible. And will they slow down? Only if they see other guys coming at you. But I mean, I've been on plenty of streets where I'm in a 55 mile per hour zone around a bend up a hill, and I'll see a semi whip past me doing 60, no brakes, no nothing. Cars are oncoming right around the bend. It's totally unsafe. Now, that's not to say that the job, isn't fun sometimes. I mean, we're picking up trash, we're on the road. You get to see a lot of, especially for me, I'm in a country route, so I'm not much in the city much anymore, but you at least get to, be outside all the time. Um, Safety is what you make it, honestly, out
Right.
there.
Right.
As long as you're paying attention, you have your eye on the ball. You're paying attention to everything, and you're keeping focus out there, and not getting too lazy. You're like, oh, I've done this to stop 1,000 times. I'll just back in there, no problem. Then, bam,
Yeah.
get back into a
Somebody
car,
hits
and you're like, whoa, what the heck? Where'd that come from?
you. You're
So
right.
it is what you make it. It's definitely one of those jobs you got to be extra attentive on, especially from my end. Now, I mean, going to you though, you do a whole lot a different line of business than I do. So
Right.
how has that experience worked for you, and how did you get started in life?
So my early bringing, so I mean, growing up, I really wasn't into school. Like it was kind of one of the worst things. So I had gotten kicked out of school,
Yep.
and worked a few jobs. Like I worked at the hospital when I was like 16, and uh, like a pizza place when I turned like 18.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a decent job at Pepsi, and it was, that was a decent job. It paid really well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 7.50 an hour, but
Well,
that was this was years ago, so this ain't like something new. Um, so yeah, I did that for a while, and then got into computers. So I got really good at computers. I went and worked for a company, uh, and I was a network admin for a while. So I did a lot of that, and did that for about 2 years, and then they stopped hiring within New York. Had to get rid of that job
mm,
because they obviously lost New York. Then I came over and found the job I work at now. And when I first started, it was delivering cans, delivering toters. Did that for about 6 or 7 months, almost a year, roughly a year.
yep.
And that was actually good. I mean, I enjoyed that because you just go and drop off a can somewhere and repo cans, which is awesome. I mean, I kind of like repo and stuff. You go into people's backyards and take the cans out. It's pretty cool. It's interesting. So then I decided, hey, let's get my CDL and see if that's a better life.
Right.
Mm, I mean, I'd kind of rather pick up toters.
Right.
But
But
I
the
got my
money though, the
CDL.
money.
Yeah, got into residential. Did some residential work for about 5 years, and then opportunity came up for me to get in front load.
Mm-hmm.
So then I moved over to front load. Started picking up them cans. It's like pretty laid back. I do a lot of city work, whereas you do country work. I do city work.
Yep. Yep. Well,
Um,
you are a city boy, so.
yeah, so I'm in the city all the time picking up cans. The biggest problem is I don't got to deal with like side of the road cars. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't get out and deal with cars alongside the road. I deal with cars in parking lots. Whether
Yeah.
I'm out on foot
Starbucks.
Starbucks, open a corral, and or some places I got to do walk ups. I actually have to get out and pull the can up to the truck, and a 3 yard on wheels that's fully loaded. Oh, it's not an easy task. It's kind of a hard task.
Don't let them lie, guys. It's a very light, very safe procedure.
Yeah, you just walk up and grab the can and right
Right.
to your
Yeah.
truck.
I mean, it's
Done.
just like a toter. It's just like a toter.
Yeah, correct. It weighs about the same too. Like there's not really. I'm just over exaggerating a little bit. So I mean, so I deal with a lot of cars, mainly backing up because our job is mainly backing up. We
Mm-hmm.
back up all the time. We back up a lot. Like our day consists of backing up. Whether you're backing out into the road in front of cars or you're backing up in a parking lot, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Nowhere's safe. Another thing you got to watch for is overhead wires.
Overhangs.
Yeah,
Oh.
or
Oh. Yeah.
wires. Yeah,
Wires. Yep. Yep. Yep.
because you
Yep.
go over
Yep.
the cab, and you could tear down a wire, no problem. That truck will take down a wire in seconds. Not even joking. It'll just take it right down. Overhangs is a big thing. I don't have none of them on my route, so it's like I don't really got to worry about overhangs.
Yeah.
Maybe a few that I can get close, but not. It's nothing really bad. So I do. Another thing we have to watch out for is people.
Yep. Oh yeah.
One, we back up, and our cameras. We do got backup cameras, right?
Yep.
But they don't show. They don't like if you're under the truck, you can't see them.
Oh, no.
Like if they're even in your truck, if somebody's underneath your truck, you won't see them, right?
Oh, no.
And you're in a parking lot, so people don't think, hey, what is that loud beeping noise and the lights mean?
Right.
Run behind it, like go as fast as you can.
Go faster.
Right? You got to get underneath that truck, right? So, or you got to watch when you bring the can down because they'll walk underneath your can. And you want to talk about a scary thing is looking in your mirror because you got to watch your mirror, right?
Yep.
When you're pulling the can out, you got to watch the mirror to make sure the can's level, right? Well, you can watch your camera, but I like the mirror because you're physically seeing. You physically got eyes on the can.
Yep.
So you got to level the can and then bring it down. So I watch it in the mirror and I start coming down with it, and then I'll look in front of me. It's a good thing I look in front of me. Yeah. I've almost set the can on people, like really close. I had one lady. I put the can like down, and she waves to me and she says, "Hi, thank you." Like, what are you thanking me for? I just saved your life. Yeah, wow. Almost really close. And that was at your famous store, Starbucks.
Oh well, we all love Starbucks.
Yeah, like
America runs on coffee, right?
Right, and they definitely need their Starbucks because it's I mean it's a job in itself.
Not a sponsor.
Right. Not a sponsor. Unless they want to. I'm down to let them in.
Open them wide open.
Right. I have done rear load before too. Like when I first started this job, I've ran behind a truck. We used to do a whole route on rear load, so I've done there.
My only question is, doing all these lines of businesses, what's your most memorable and favorite line of business?
So mine, for myself, is residential because in residential, we are more of a team player.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we work together, we got the job done. In front load, not so much. Like the people don't like the other drivers just want to do their job and go home. Right. I understand. We do work. We go in early and we work long days, but sometimes people need help. Sometimes drivers need help, or truck breaks down. Happens all the time. Yep. And it kind of sucks that in front load nobody will come help. Now I've noticed the same thing in residential now. Since I've left residential.
Oh yeah.
Where'd the help go? You know what I'm saying? Like
the dream team went on.
Right. Correct. And it kind of sucks that happened. It was good.
That's more to do with the culture of how the guys get along, and if they're more willing to go out and help each other out. But if most of the guys are like the older crowd, which we know in this aging industry, most of the people that do CDL work, they're over the age of 40, if not in their 50s already, still doing the job. So they're just wanting to get in, get out, go home, not have to deal with anybody else's bullcrap. Right. Us younger guys, that are still kind of below that 40 mark. Well, at least I am.
Well, I'm like
are more willing
35.
to go out and give extra helping hand to those guys in need. But but no, it's definitely. I don't know if that's just in general trash industry, because I'm sure if we talk to other people, which we do want to hear from you guys out there, more of your things, your kind of experiences doing this stuff, and we're only talking about what we have at our
Right.
actual site.
Right.
You know.
So I've heard from other trash companies,
Hmm.
because obviously we're at the landfill and we bump into people.
Oh
So you
yeah.
talk to people all the time, right? So I've heard from other trash companies that a lot of them drivers don't go back to the shop unless the routes are done.
Everyone's done.
All the routes they're done.
Right.
So like you'll see a line of, and it's got to be true because when you go there, you'll see the line of that company all at the
Yep.
landfill at the same
Oh
time.
yeah. All the time.
You know what I'm saying? Where like we're just going in and in. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Right.
you'll see us
Staggered.
individually going in. Right. But you'll see that company and it'll just be a line of people. So
Hmm.
it's got to be more like we're here to help
Right.
each other rather than you're on
Right.
your own, And
Absolutely.
like I don't mind the on your own thing. Like we all got a job to do, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
if your day's going good, your truck's not breaking down, you shouldn't need help on your routes.
Oh heck no.
Like your route should be getting done by yourself, because that's your job. Like your job
Right.
is to do that route. If you've been doing your route for a while and you can't handle your own route, there's something wrong. Either too many stops on the route because a lot of residential routes as your route
Overloaded.
as your route in the past.
Well, no, not
Not no
anymore.
more.
We
No,
got
no,
that
no.
figured
It's
out.
yeah, it's been figured out. But like you've dealt with an overloaded route.
Yeah.
When I took over that one town, that was kind of an overloaded route. I worked with it and just got really fast at it. But for another person to go in, as you've seen, somebody else on that route, they'd get 70 stops done and be screwed.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I would get the whole day done,
Right.
really fast.
Right.
And it's all on the driver as well. How fast the
Mhm.
driver is. Does the driver want to get his job done? Because not everybody wants to get their jobs done.
Right. Exactly.
A lot of people would rather just, I don't know, go off there and go out and goof off.
Right.
And it to each their own. Someday maybe you'll get caught doing it, or maybe they don't care. As long as your route's getting done at the end of the day, I guess you shouldn't be complaining too much about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Right. But like there's a difference between doing your route productively or efficiently, what the
right,
company wants you to do. And I mean, we all still need hours. We got a family to feed.
right,
I
right.
understand that, but you
We
shouldn't
live
be
on
out
our
there.
overtime.
Right? Yeah, we live on overtime. But you shouldn't be out there. Only doing your own route, making it take forever, just because you don't want to help out your friends out there. You know what I mean?
Right, right. And another thing is like you'll watch people touch their overtime hours and not have any hours for the week, which is kind of,
Yeah. Well.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. I
you got to
mean,
be back at 9 o'clock in the morning.
sometimes it's just a happenstance of circumstance, where they break down and stuff like that, which
Right,
is
right.
totally
That's
understandable.
yeah.
But
That's
I mean,
that
but
happens.
there's certain things you see go on that you're like, okay, that's a little bit of a trend going on. Maybe not, but
Maybe yeah.
I like giving people the benefit of the doubt most of the time. I mean, we all gripe and complain like a bunch of hens sometimes,
Right, right.
especially
It's a
about each
job.
other.
Like it comes with a job. How do you feel about like the landfill? Like do you like the landfill? Do you like going to the landfill? Is it like very good experience, a bad experience?
So, I mean, I've only disposed at landfills for pretty much most of my career, and
Hmm.
the few times that I've gone to either transfer station or burn plants,
Beautiful.
those are 100 times better than a landfill.
Hmm.
Landfills are always bumpy, hard roads. It's crap. It treats your equipment like crap.
Hmm.
Freaking, you're driving in and out over trash, dirt, and everything else. And you got dozers and everybody moving around you, and trucks backing up on you. It's just, it's a tire mess. I mean, it's controlled chaos. I mean,
Right.
it's not the safest. I mean, you especially feel that way when you're backing up your truck and you're looking up and you see a freaking 53-foot trailer on a tipper just getting tipped
Yeah.
on its side, and you're like, I'm dumping next to that shit. Like,
Yeah.
why that thing falls over on me, man?
Right, right. And you're like right there, and it's like,
You're
what
right
the
there.
heck?
You're right there.
Or when some of the residential trucks that are lift body instead of eject,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hey,
And
I can't
and
talk too much crap because I used to drive one of them, and
hey,
people say, I don't know if
trained
this
you.
is true. Look at this. I don't know if this is true. Okay, but people say that I'm a little bit crazy when I used to dump them trucks. N- Like I don't see it, like because
Well, you gotta be on the outside looking in. You can't be in the inside of the cab.
you're
Freaking
right, you're
boom,
right.
boom, 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 boom.
Hey, I look at this. I used to put the arm out all the way, didn't I?
Yeah, you gotta stabilize the load.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I put the arm out and bam, bam. Shawn, you're gonna tip it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that I used to get that
So
a
you're
lot.
saying is you had getting back to the point where everyone wants to hear about is you had more fun in Resi than anything else so far.
Oh, definitely. It's been. I mean, like, so front load's not bad. It's definitely an experience. Definitely a lot more focus. You got to
Mm-hmm.
be, like, so. I mean, you got to focus in residential, but I mean, think about this. For the most part, residential goes straight down the road.
Well,
I mean,
you
you take
turn
turns and stuff.
sometimes, I mean,
Yeah, but like,
come
it's
on.
more of a road. Like, think of the job. The job is a road work job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're picking up
Yep,
cans
yep,
alongside the road.
yep. No,
Um,
you're right.
right. Front
Except
load,
for
like,
those.
go ahead.
Uh,
front front load's definitely like, oh, is that a car? Oh, what's that? I just feel
it's a
like a
raccoon.
crackhead.
It's a raccoon.
I feel like a crackhead.
Oh, you
You
feel
know.
like, well, Shawn. I mean, you kind of look like one, so I mean.
Whoa.
Shots
So
fired.
drug test tomorrow.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. Now they're gonna drug test me. Thank you. Be like the
You're
time that
welcome.
I said.
You need
Be
it
like.
anyways.
Be,
You wanted more overtime, right?
it'll be like the time that I said. What did I tell them? Yeah. So like, you guys can weed test me. I drink a lot of cranberry juice, so I'd pass. And then the next day I get sent for a drug test. What is up with that?
Joke's on them. I needed
Yeah.
more time on my clock.
Yeah, and I drank a lot more cranberry juice before I got there. Like,
So, me
but
personally,
hey, you've tried front load,
for all of 2 days. Yep.
but you tried it. What did you
Right, yeah.
think? Like,
Absolutely not.
would it be
Nope.
something that you'd want to do?
Nope. Absolutely not. So,
But,
regardless of what the camera situation looks like here, guys, he's actually not taller than me. I'm taller than him.
a little bit.
But but I'm also a bigger guy, so I mean,
Right.
I have a hard time getting in and out of small cabs.
He's our
Jolly Green Giant.
no, we don't call him that. He is our Viking. He is the Viking of
yep, there
our
it is right there.
company.
Yep,
Right?
yep.
So we come in on boats every day to work.
Mm-hmm.
He
Ships
always
are
tries to,
sailing on the waves are churning.
yeah, he always tries to shoot my boat. Whatever.
Harpoons.
But yeah, I mean, like, so when you did it, like, what was the biggest downfall of front load that you've seen?
Well, so my biggest hurdle, just on a comfort level, was just getting in and out of the truck. I mean,
cabs.
I drive a cab over for my ASL truck, but it's not as bad as you got to literally climb up in a front load versus a residential.
Right.
You can just kind
Hop
of
in.
step down, you're there.
Right.
That was my biggest complaint about it, and then it was just a really tiny cab space.
Yeah.
I mean, you see these, huge trucks and they're going in and out of freaking parking lots, but you don't realize the cab's actually like, freaking
Yeah, it's
small as heck.
not even half the truck. So
I'm in the thing, I'm kind of like, I'm
that
almost
again,
constipated when I'm driving it. You know what I mean?
right. It all depends though, because I think if you were to drive a Peterbilt over a Mack, I think it'd be fine because
I've
Peterbilts
gotten a
have.
Peterbilt at a shop before. It's not that much roomier than the auto cars or the freaking Mack trucks.
What are you talking about? You can put your legs all the way out and sleep. I mean,
okay. Again, he's shorter than I am.
By what? By what? Like
4 inches.
4 inches?
Yeah.
I guess
4
it
inches
counts.
means. Hey, listen. Talk to the girls. 4 inches matters. All right.
Whoa.
No, but I mean, so
are we having a show off here or something?
Other than the, well, I mean, you're gonna be there. But other than the comfort level in front load, my biggest complaint about front load was the fact that we're backing out into traffic.
Right.
Where you got to keep going from residential, like you said. We're just driving on the street. We might have to get off sometimes to do some businesses and just pull the cans out of alleys, whatever. No big deal. But in front load, you got to drive in them alleys. You got to then back out in the traffic, and you're freaking, you're only relying on your mirrors and your camera, which there's always lag time, and anything can happen in an instant. Even if you're on your air horn, blowing it like your freaking train, it don't matter. People aren't going to stop for you.
Right.
And so that was my second biggest complaint about that with front load, and thirdly, I mean, so again, with us bigger guys, it's the clean out.
Oh yeah, because you got to climb behind.
You got a small door. You got to literally climb into inside the truck, dig it all out, And
Right.
I'm not afraid of getting dirty. I was a rear load driver for a long time. I was a
Right.
thrower for a long time, so I've got all kinds of nasty on me. You know what I mean? Real
So
nasty.
me
But
personally, because like I'm 6 foot, so like I'm not that much shorter than you.
right, me
I
neither,
even
so.
struggle get, I even struggle getting out and in the truck,
Mm-hmm.
behind the cab or behind the blade,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I actually have to like pull myself up and slide in, and slide
No,
out.
no,
Yeah. So like if you
no.
see me out there, I'll be dangling until I get my
His
feet
feet
out.
are his feet are just kicking on the off the ground.
Yeah,
Help me! Help
So
me!
it kind of looks funny when I get in and out. Just as like what I'm saying, like we're kind of taller guys. Like I think
Mm-hmm.
if you're like 5'7" or something like that, you'd be fine, like in
Well, I
and
mean,
out.
some of our drivers are pretty short, and they look fantastic in those front load
Yeah,
trucks.
they get right in and out.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
actually I've never seen them go behind their blade, so I don't know how they get in.
Well, they just gotta like do like the Oompa Loompa somersault. They
Right,
just gotta
right,
tumble into it.
right. Yeah, it's I mean it's all a task in itself. Like front load is definitely not like
So, well, see,
it's not bad,
right.
but
But a lot of the front load guys, they swear by front load. They say that their job is a lot better than doing residential because residential, you got somewhere between 300 to 500 homes a day, where versus you go to front load, you might have anywhere from 80 to 100 and some cans
right,
in one day. Especially if you're having a spread out route. I know some front load guys that do like actual city work where they're going to a transfer station every day. They can have anywhere up to like 150 or more
right,
cans, but they're
right,
dumping 3 times a day and they're in boom 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 done.
right,
But a lot of the front load guys, they swear by front load. Like that's the best job they have. They go to residential, they hate it. They want to go back to front load
right,
immediately. Now, I mean, it's definitely what you get more comfortable with. If you're more comfortable with one line of business versus the other line of business, you definitely get a feeling for it.
right,
But I personally, I just couldn't get over the comfort level. I mean, I said I'm a creature of comfort. I like if I'm going to be spending 14 hours a day in a truck, I want to be able to get in and out of it without
move
squeezing
around,
into it. I want to be able to
right,
drive it without having to hunch over and be basically a pretzel. I'm trying to climb in and out of the thing. That's
right.
just me. But some guys swear by it. I mean, but to each their own.
Well,
Oops.
not me because like I said, I mean I don't mind it. It's some of the biggest problems that I'm faced with is like so like I said I do a lot of city work. The city that I'm in is like an hour away from the
Mm-hmm.
shop or from the
Mm-hmm.
landfill and stuff like that. So it takes me a little while to get from my route to the landfill and then back to my route and
Right.
it kind of really sucks when you got to do that
Oh
and
yeah.
still pick up like 80 to 90 cans,
Right.
because that's a lot of cans. And just some of the stops are like a pain in the neck. You got to be there at a certain time. If you're not there before that certain time,
Mm-hmm.
you ain't even getting them stops because
Nope.
cars
And
are
then
everywhere.
then they're on the phone. Hello, Mister. Your driver missed me.
And that's yeah.
Yeah.
But like, so it's like in residential. Like usually in residential, a lot of the drivers you'll see, they'll build a bond with their customers.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like when I was in residential, I had a bond with a lot of my
Oh yeah.
customers. A lot
Oh
of my
yeah.
customers loved me.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
I mean, but in
and
front load, I think it's more like they just.
no, in front load we get it too. We'll
Oh,
get
you
like managers. Yeah, like so I got a lot of store managers or people that own businesses, and I go in and pick up
okay.
their can. If I go on a day late, like they don't really say nothing to me, and they won't call on me
You're watching it, right?
because yeah, because mm, I mean like I got a bond with them. I guess I don't know.
You got a bond with them,
I guess
or maybe they just enjoy the good service that you give them.
yeah, because I'm there every week, but like there's sometimes I'll pack out and I don't feel like driving the hour back, so I'll just like I'll be in the town right next to the stop
We
tomorrow,
don't
so.
tell all the secrets of the show.
That's very rare, though. Normally, I drive back.
Right. No, we always get all the stops every day, guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes.
Circumstances with withholding, weather-related
Hmm.
incidents in the middle of summer, it's snow covered. I mean, we can't get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. There's occasions that and it's not like a lot. Like I don't do it
Right.
all the time. Like it's very once in a while, but there'll be times like I'll have 2 cans and it's like an hour away to get there, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
I'll be
I mean,
right next to there tomorrow.
especially when we're in at 4 o'clock in the morning, starting our
Right.
routes. Well, most of us are. I mean, some drivers, not so much. But
We don't snitch. We don't snitch here.
you just did it yourself, saying you skip stops.
I'm trying to find my knife.
Stab, stab, stab.
Yeah. But that's true too. That's another good statement. Or the other good one is, what if you drive all the way to the landfill and there's a line
Right.
and you're in line for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like you still got an hour to drive back to route. So like it's an hour to the landfill. It's an hour to the landfill, an hour or 2 hours to dump, and then an
Yep.
hour back to route.
Right.
How many hours did you lose there? You
4 hours.
Simple math.
Yeah,
So
I just did it 1 + 2 + 1.
yeah, so I mean that's a lot of time to like kill and then drive
Especially in a
back.
13-hour day.
So like my all time question was when I first started doing this was how can people that drive tractor trailers
Mm-hmm.
drive as far as they drive? Like that's a
Right.
long drive. And I think
Right.
I got it down now because so I do front load. So like I'll go and do a whole route and then I'll
Yep.
pack out and then I'll have to leave and come back.
Yep.
Right. And I'll get tired. Like I'll get super tired. Like I got to stop at the store, get some coffee,
Yep.
an
Yep.
energy
Yep.
drink, an energy shot, something to keep me going. Right. Cause I'll get really tired. And I was like,
Oh
why?
yeah.
But why? And I found that I think it's because like you're in the town, you're just going and going and going and going and going and going
Mm-hmm.
and going.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pack
As soon as
out,
you
you
stop.
drive. Yeah,
Yep. So you stop. All of a sudden, you got that drive at you, and
yeah,
you got the adrenaline pumping. You got the music blasting. You're in there
yeah,
in the zone, and then you're out of the zone, and all of a sudden, all that energy just goes
yeah, and it
gone.
just fades away. And I think that's what it is. And plus you're there for like, I mean, it's not like you just go into the town, pack out, and then go back. You don't. You
Right.
go into the
Right.
town,
Right.
you're there for
You
like
gotta deal with
six,
traffic,
7 hours.
Right. 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 Right.
Picking up the stops, and you're constantly busy, constantly watching, and then all
Yep.
of a sudden, shut your brain down and just drive.
Yep. Yep. I mean,
And I think you get
now,
tired
have
from
you
it.
ever thought about going to Class A work? Driving long haul or anything like that
No,
before?
mm-mm,
No.
no. It's like I don't. To be honest, like I'd rather just go back into computers. Like I kind of
Well,
like it better.
well, this
Uh,
podcast is brought to you on a computer.
yeah, it's true. But like it's like I think if I were to leave this trash company, I wouldn't go to another trash company.
No, I mean, so I've always thought about if I were to ever leave the trash company, I would actually want to start one for myself,
That's
not
true too.
necessarily, saying that I'm going to be a high competitive person, but
Yeah, you're
there's a lot of
definitely
money to be made out here in the trash game for a lot of people. I mean,
definitely
you
is.
see it on every single town you go to, they got a whole bunch of different services out there, not always just corporations like the big ones like Waste Management, the other ones, what I mean, like them, but you got
Right.
small mom and pop trash companies that are just going
And
around with
they're
one
and
little
they're
rear
banging.
loader, and they're
Right.
getting city contracts, town contracts, and they're just freaking making a living off of that. I mean, so
So
there's definitely money to be made out there. Now, do I necessarily want to do that for the rest of my life? No, I want to be, eventually a owner of a
something
trash
else.
business.
Right. Right.
Like I want to, be able to build it up enough to, just sit back, lay back, and then start enjoying my life a little bit more.
Right. Right. Because you
But,
can't like to have a life in the trash game. It's kind of hard because
oh yeah, 100% hard.
because like yeah, we make decent money. Like we make pretty good
Mm-hmm.
money. Like my paychecks look nice. Most of us are at like
Except
100K
for
a
rent
year.
pay.
Most of us are at 100K a year,
Right,
roughly
right.
around. And that's pretty good pay, especially for the area. But
Oh
like
yeah,
you're comparing to like McDonald's or Walmart or like
right,
simple jobs, you know what I'm saying?
right.
And when you look at like other drivers, like some of them drivers are making pretty good money,
Mm-hmm.
and with the cost of everything nowadays, except especially in my situation where I'm a single father,
Yep,
you know,
yep, yep.
all the bills fall on my shoulders.
Oh yeah.
So like rent comes, that's a lot of money. I pay a lot for
Mm-hmm.
rent. So like you can't
Not
really
more than
save
me.
up money. Yeah. You can't really save up money to go on vacation. Like
Mm-mm.
vacations for us don't really exist. And
I mean,
that's another thing we want to do with this. We want to create something where we can bring
right,
somebody to us and give them a little vacation, like a little
right.
pampering,
You come
you
down
know.
for an interview. We could put you up at a hotel at the start. Try to get things started off for you guys, so you guys feel like you actually, when you're taking some time off of work to do something else, you're actually enjoying yourself instead of just using that time off request form for doctor's visits and that's it. I mean, that's what you
Right,
get time off
right.
for. Some guys are able to take vacations, but they gotta save all year round for it. I just want to get to the
Right.
point in life where we're just comfortable enough to just, hey, honey, I'm gonna go take let's just skip town for a week.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, you
a
can't
month.
ever do
Yeah.
that at all
Right. It's
nowadays.
really hard. It's and the cost of everything is definitely higher.
Oh my god.
Um, like just regular groceries, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, and like I said, the job's not bad. They do pay
No.
well. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, uh, so when I was doing computers, I was making what I make now
Mm-hmm.
back then. So and that was like over 7 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So,
I mean, bad for us drivers, not for those guys.
right. So, so like, by me saying that, like, so I was almost at 100K fixing network issues and
hmm
security issues, setting up wireless cameras and stuff. Uh,
Yep.
and I was making like, I think I was making like 83,000 a year.
Jeez,
And
man.
this is like 7 or 8 years ago. So like the money was
Right.
more like
Right.
seven. That was a lot of money today.
Now say
Like,
right.
yeah, in today's market, it'd be like 100 and something thousand,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
roughly.
I mean, well,
So
let's put it in perspective. I got an uncle that works for Walmart that's making well over $100,000 just being a freaking like medium level manager where he's
right,
at. But he's been with the company for a long, long time. But I mean, that just kind of puts it in perspective, like. Is it really worth staying in this in the trash industry,
right,
especially since it's an aging market and we're kind of getting shorted on a lot of drivers out there. I mean, there's not a lot of new blood coming into the industry at all,
right.
and
And
where is it
that
going to go from
affects
there?
us.
Right,
Right. That affects us because
right, because
like
all the workload goes on the
certain
one guy in the
drivers,
area.
yeah. It goes back to that helping other drivers deal.
Right,
Like I
right,
know I'm a
right,
driver that would help anybody.
right.
If you were to call me
Most
and say,
days,
"Hey, look at I broke down today." I'd be right
right,
over to your route.
right.
But like if somebody won't give me the same courtesy, like I break down, my truck
hmm
goes down for the whole
You
day. What do
you
they
got to
do?
rub each other's backs.
Right. They send you home. Like if your truck goes down, they send you home because there's no spare truck for you. Well,
hmm
if there's no spare truck, we'll put it like that.
Right,
If
right,
there's a spare
right,
truck, you're getting in the spare truck and you're going out to do your own spare truck.
right.
So there's times that your truck will break down. There's no truck for you. They'll send you
hmm
home. So you'll go
Right,
home, and some drivers will come over to your route and help you out. Other drivers, get out of
right,
here.
right.
You know.
But
And
meanwhile, your whole customers are out there like, "Oh, my trash man, he must not be working today because I
right,
haven't got
right,
picked up in 3 hours."
right, and yeah, because most of our stops were timed. Like
Right,
this is what
right.
time we get there. This and the customers know. They know what
Mm-hmm.
time we get there. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and they'll look out there and be like, "Huh, where's that trash man?
Right.
God,
So,
dog it."
so, right. So, for any of you guys out there that aren't in the trash industry watching this podcast, and you're ever wondering why your trash guy's a little late, it might be just because well, we forgot you. Sorry, but no, but really though,
Yeah, he
it's
broke
it's
down.
because we broke down,
Right.
most of the time, or our equipment, is broken down to the point where we got to take the whole rest of the day off and then get you the next day, unfortunately. But
Right.
it
Uh,
definitely affects all of us too, because I mean, especially if we get sent home and then no one's willing to help out. Well, what happens to our Saturdays?
right.
You
You got to
know,
come in on
we,
Saturday
we
sometimes.
got to
Yeah,
come on
yeah,
Saturdays sometimes, But that's just the name of the game. I mean, but most of us are willing to do that, because well, for one, we're getting the rest of our hours, back for it, and we're still keeping our job going. I mean, because at the end of the day, it's our own routes that's getting affected by. If we don't pick
right.
up our own trash, on our own routes, it's just going to keep snowballing out of control to the point where we're going to be so far behind that.
You're,
Well, what are
and
we going to do?
you've been there.
Oh yeah,
You've been down
absolutely.
that road. You've been
hmm
down that road, and that's when your routes were overloaded and it made it hard. Another idea behind this podcast that I would like to implement is like spreading awareness for us. Because
Right.
we have
Oh,
no
absolutely.
awareness. Uh, uh, like COVID. COVID killed a lot of things, right? A lot of companies
COVID.
died. Uh, a lot of people recognize, like certain workers, which them workers did a great
hmm
job. Like first responders, they all did a great job. They did.
Oh
Who
yeah.
else was out there during COVID? Who
Um,
who else was
um,
hands on touching stuff during COVID?
snowplow drivers.
And trash drivers.
Oh, trash guys. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Those guys, those
So
guys.
we were there. We had notes that we had to carry around with us and stuff
Yep,
we had to put on our windows of our cars that
yep.
said, "Hey, these are
So,
essential workers."
right,
Uh,
right, because the
w-
cops could pull us over and they'd be like, "Are you an essential worker?" And we're like, well, yeah, I got to have this thing in my car, plastered on the window saying,
To show.
I'm going to and from work.
Right, right. And it was, I mean, it was definitely a challenging day. Like
Now,
it was a
now,
challenging time for us.
now back at COVID, you were still in residential, if I remember correctly, for the most
Yes,
part. Now,
yes.
like, what would happen if you rolled to a house, and I mean, this is during the pandemic. All those guys are always worried about because if we catch it, which by the way, 4 years running for me, whoop whoop, that we can't really afford to have that time loss or that
No.
because we live on overtime.
Right, right.
If we catch this disease
COVID.
or virus, we're only getting
Hmm.
paid the 40 hours per week. We're struggling behind with bills
We're
again.
getting hurt.
But I
Yes.
mean, so like with you, if you roll to a stop, and we're always very kind to our customers. If we make the mess, we clean the mess. But has there ever
Hmm.
been any messes of tissue papers
Oh
that you
yeah.
dumped out of a can and just left?
Oh yeah. Because so like not to. I don't want to sound mean with this because I hope customers watch us too.
Well, we
The
hope
purpose
so.
of this is the spread awareness to everybody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? For everything. So a lot of customers just, like they ain't too shabby. Like they don't understand that they should bag up a lot of their trash
Oh,
or
please,
tie
please, please.
tie their trash.
All things
So
should be bagged and tied neatly.
so sometimes you'll go in and you'll snatch a can because like the claws on the trucks. Sometimes they do a nice little grip and they'll
Oh
snatch the
yeah.
can and everything on the top layer of that can will fly out. You got
Right.
tissues on the ground. Same thing in front load. You'll get the same
Mm-hmm.
thing. You'll go over the canopy and then the wind comes. Woof. There's nothing in your truck because it's in their yard. You know. So the non-bagging. I mean, I understand. Some people just don't want to bag.
Right.
Bags definitely take
But
longer to break down
but
than raw material.
right.
Obviously, right?
Right.
So
But
makes
but
sense.
but if you guys complain about if you're one of these customers that doesn't want to do that and you always complain about the trash guy leaving behind debris or anything behind, well, just know that I mean when we roll up, we're going 50 to 0, snatching that can in 10 seconds, dumping that dang thing, putting it back, and then continuing on our route because we got 500 other people to get to in that
Right.
one day. So unfortunately, if everything's not bagged properly, when we go to snatch that can and pull it back in there and dump it, you know whatever loose items are going to fall out, they're going to fall out. I mean, yeah, I said we make the mess, we clean the mess. So obviously, we're not going to be that much of a scumbag about it. But
Right.
we definitely want you guys. We're not complaining about our customers, because you guys pay our bills.
Yep.
Without you guys
Got
paying for
you.
trash, we wouldn't be out there picking it up for you guys.
Right.
But just a little nicety thing. Like if you're going to overload something or whatever, and there's a little bit of mess, we apologize. But unfortunately, we don't always catch it all the time either because we said we're going from 50 to 0, grabbing that, snatching it,
Moving on.
dumping it, and then moving on. We got to keep on. You know what I'm saying?
And one
So,
of the biggest things that residential, well, everybody deals with it in the trash
mhm.
game, is wind.
Oh,
If you got recycling gal and we hit your can and dump it, 9 times out of 10 it's not going in the truck.
no,
The
especially if
wind's
there's
gonna take
20-mile-per-hour
all.
winds or more.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, we don't mean to do that, and we can't pick that up. Like that's something that we
Right,
try,
right,
but I mean, there's sometimes a lot of recycling that goes all over the
right.
place, and
Especially if
it
you
just
guys, for all you shredders out there that love shredding their documents.
right.
I
You know, it's there's a lot of stuff we deal with out on routes.
right.
Both
And,
front load,
and again,
residential,
we're
roll
not
off.
trying to complain about it on this podcast. We're just
No,
here to raise
uh-uh.
awareness. Open up the general discussion. Because that's one thing most people don't have is they don't understand the ins and outs of what happens when when you're out there picking up trash or you're doing in the trash industry. Most people just kind of look at the trash man's here,
Right, right.
and
About a lot of bad looks.
so many bad looks.
Hmm.
Like we're the little worm in the dirt kind of
Right,
looks.
right.
But I mean, we're just trying to raise general awareness, on a lot of topics. We definitely want to hear more stories about people and
Right.
their experiences. I mean, heck, if we even get a customer on, that wants to come and talk about their experiences, I mean,
Yeah,
that might
come
be a
on.
thing.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I'd like to hear customers. I mean, so like
I
this
want to
was
hear all
way
the good
back.
ones about the sexy trash people. Come on now.
This was a little while back, so I had just came back from hurting my back.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I did hurt my back on the
Yep.
job. Comes with the job. I just came back, and I decided let's try to do a live stream on route
Right.
one day.
Right.
I don't know, like it was just something fun to do, you know. And so I'm live streaming, and people are coming in the chat room. Thank you. We love what you do. We love what you do. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, wow, you know, people actually will take their
Right.
time out of their day to thank us. We definitely would love to have a customer on the show.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that would be
absolutely.
awesome. If you get trash picked up, which everybody does, right?
Right. Well, you hope so.
Come on the show. We'll have you. We also want other drivers. Like other drivers would
Oh
be
yeah.
awesome. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying? Like
because
we want your stories. Like your
right.
stories would be awesome, and to hear what you got to say, and you to talk,
I
and you
right.
know, hopefully this actually works, and we can do what we want to do, and set up something to where we can start bringing you out to us. It's in the works. We're gonna work on this a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
see where we
But
can go with it.
we're working class men, so we gotta keep on
Right?
keeping on. So if we could provide a little bit extra, we're gonna try to do for our fellow trash people. But I mean, a lot of that, the like, follow, subscribe, notify,
Yeah.
everything, that helps out a lot.
Comment. Leave some comments.
Oh yeah,
Tell
there's
us
some
what you want to
comments.
hear. If you got questions, ask.
Right.
We don't mind asking them.
I mean,
Um,
that's all Sean
if you
says is I'm only here to be the pretty face. So
right,
that's all him.
if you do want to come on the show, go to one of my accounts, reach out to me, or either I or Alex will
Yep.
get back to
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
One
Absolutely.
of us will get back to you, and set something up. We'll set up a time and stuff like that, and try to do something. We're hoping
Right.
to be releasing videos every Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully.
Not sure on the time frame yet about what what hour we're releasing it at, but Wednesdays are
Right,
pretty much a good one.
right.
And if you guys like about if you guys like it, just make sure you like the guy the podcast.
Right. We're definitely gonna try for a little bit later in the night because we work, and
Mm-hmm.
some days our days take all the way till 5 at night.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard to say, hey, look, we'll schedule this for 2 o'clock on a Wednesday, and my
Right.
truck breaks down and I'm stuck at work.
Right.
So we want to make it realistic, so where we're uploading the same time every week, and
Mm-hmm.
you guys can see our content.
And hopefully enjoy it.
Right. Right.
Right.
Alex, we are there on time today.
All right. Well,
So
thanks guys. We'll catch you
enjoy.
next time.
Yep. Thank you.